Loved ones and co-workers remember a hero killed by a suspected drunk driver while helping a stranded motorist.
And after his death, many are wondering if this will be the year drunk driving laws finally change in Wisconsin.
Just 5 days until Wisconsin swears in a new governor. How Tony Evers hopes to work with Republican lawmakers in his new job.
This is News 3 at 10.
Thank you for joining us. Funeral and visitation services are being planned for fallen Lake Mills firefighter Captain Chris Truman. Tonight, he's being remembered as a hero.
He died New Year's Eve after being hit by a drunk driver along the Beltline while helping a stranded motorist. Truman's fiancée, Amber Turfel, says this was far from the first time Chris had stopped to help someone in need. She said Chris lived to serve, and she takes comfort knowing he died heroically.
That means everything to me because he once said to me, "Honey, I just want to be remembered as a hero," and he got his wish.
Truman leaves behind Amber, who he was with for more than a decade, and her 3 children, Lily, Taylor, and Damien. Police arrested this man after the crash. 28-year-old Samuel Kremers facing charges of homicide by intoxicated use of a vehicle. He's in the Dane County Jail awaiting his first court appearance.
Fire departments from around the state made the trip to Lake Mills today to honor Captain Truman. A special procession brought him from the medical examiner's office in Madison back home to Lake Mills. When his body arrived, his family, friends, and fellow firefighters from throughout Wisconsin were there to honor him for his service and sacrifice.
I'm sure that every firefighter in this department, it's affected him terrible because Chris was just that type of a person. I mean, everybody loved the guy. He was just unbelievable. So it was a pleasure serving with him.
The fact that he died helping someone actually means a lot to me because it exemplifies who he was and what he was about.
In the wake of Captain Truman's death, many people are wondering if 2019 will be the year of change in Wisconsin's drunk driving laws.
And while Captain Truman's death is tragic, so many other lives are taken from drunk driving. Many people here in Wisconsin say enough is enough. Jamie Perez joins us now with what the DOT in Wisconsin has seen when it comes to those drunk driving numbers in years past. Jamie?
So with every news story that we broadcast about someone getting hurt or arrested for a drunk driving related incident, we see the comments from many people in Wisconsin how they wish the laws were stricter. We see it in the numbers. There are still far too many people dying as a result of someone's decision to get behind the wheel while intoxicated. Some are asking how many lives need to be lost before something changes.
In the past 2 weeks, we've reported a handful of drunk driving incidents in our viewing area. Some where the driver heads into oncoming traffic, others that resulted in physical injuries, and more recently resulted in a fatality.
It's like, again, it's like every day in Wisconsin.
Marla Hall is with the Eliminate Drunk Driving group here in Wisconsin. She stands against intoxicated driving, especially after her own son was killed by a drunk driver. According to state law, drunken drivers charged for the first and second times are not required to stay in jail and can be released to a sober party.
The only state in the U.S. where a first-time OWI is not a criminal offense.
On the map you're looking at now, each yellow dot shows where someone was stopped for driving while intoxicated in Madison. You can click on each dot and see that they were operating while intoxicated and how many times they've done this before.
And this happens way too often. I mean, how many people have to die on Wisconsin roads before Wisconsin does something?
According to the Wisconsin DOT, alcohol-related crashes and injuries reached a peak in 1979 and dropped considerably after that due to legislation and intense enforcement. Marla says there are still way too many lives being lost, even if the numbers show a decrease over the years.
And a lot of people in Wisconsin say we need to do something about drunk driving, but nobody does. I mean, we need to get up there. We need to get up to the Capitol. We need to storm the Capitol and say, do something.
The DOT does not have statistics posted online beyond 2015, so we were not able to compare more recent numbers. Marla Hall says she's working with legislators to get stricter laws implemented here in Wisconsin.
And Jamie Perez joining us in studio tonight. Jamie, thank you.
Now that Captain Truman's body is back home, the Lake Mills community is figuring out what it will do next. Tonight, the fire department says there will be a visitation this Saturday at the Clausen Funeral Home from 3 until 7. Then on Sunday, January 6th, there will be an hour-long visitation at 2 o'clock at the Lake Mills High School with the funeral starting at 3.
There have been different instances where we've had very, very large funerals, and They were times where we didn't want students to relate the school experience to a tragedy. But in this case, because Chris really represents everything that's great about the community, we said, let's do it.
During the Saturday visitation, there will be an emergency responders flyby at 5 p.m. As we learn more about Captain Truman, his legacy, and the man arrested for the crash, be sure to stay with News 3 for the very latest information on air and online at channel3000.com.
And we turn things over to weather now. A lot of snow still out there on the ground tonight, but things will gradually warm up as we near the weekend. Let's check in with meteorologist Dana Fulton on our backyard weather patio. Dana?
There is a lot of snow on the ground still. We picked up just a little bit more today. Thankfully, though, the flurry is coming down in the last few hours. You may still see a few snowflakes swirling around, but our cloud coverage is now clearing out, and all that moisture is going well to the east. Downtown, nice and quiet this evening. We hit a high of about 26 today, just close to average. Our overnight low at 19, so a fairly normal start to January for us. We are going to watch our temperatures climb over the next few days, though. It'll be quite a bit above average by the time we hit the weekend, and that's kind of a good thing for us. Looking at our Doppler track right now, you can see there's no more threat for any sort of light snow or flurries this evening. Again, we do have a few clouds still hanging on overhead, but we will be mostly sunny as we get towards Thursday and Friday. Right now, it's about 26 in Madison, 23 in Janesville, and in Mineral Point. We do have a breeze coming from the southwest, and you can certainly feel it right now at about 9 miles per hour in Madison. It puts our wind chill just a few degrees lower than where our actual temperatures are at. Now, overnight, as these clouds clear out, we are expecting our temperatures to drop into the mid-teens. Throughout the day tomorrow, we'll have a mostly clear sky. We'll jump about 10 degrees by tomorrow afternoon, in the mid-30s for our afternoon highs tomorrow, and close to 40 by the weekend. We'll take a closer look at that full forecast in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Dana. New tonight at 10, a local brewery is issuing a recall amid a possible glass bottle defect. Carbon 4 says it's issuing the recall after its bottle manufacturer notified them of potential flaw in certain bottles. It includes 8 different beers, including their most popular flavors, Fantasy Factory and Block Party. For more details, head to channel3000.com. The Milwaukee Police Department released new surveillance video today of the pursuit this week that led to a car crashing into Kinnick River, killing 2 adults and a little girl. Police confirmed that 3 people were in the car: Shannon Niemer, her 2-year-old daughter, and Amelia Hernandez, and Charles Bearfield. According to investigators, the 2 adults in the car and another man were involved in 2 armed robberies before police caught up to them. When police tried to pull over the car, they took off, reaching speeds of about 100 miles per hour before crashing into the river.
Spectrum Brands, headquartered in Middleton, has officially sold its Rayovac battery and lighting business to Energizer. Last year, Spectrum announced that agreement had been reached. According to a news release out today, the company announced that $2 billion sale is final as of today. Scheduling note for tomorrow: a school closing in the Oregon School District. Netherwood Knoll Elementary and Prairie View Elementary will both be closed after a water main break today. All after-school activities at the Oregon Community Pool are also canceled tomorrow. The district hoping to have that problem fixed in time for school again on Friday. City leaders in Janesville are hopeful the city can capitalize on 2018's economic growth. The city saw a $14 million increase in growth last year with the developments along the Rock River, a town square, and elsewhere. Economic Director Gail Price says his main goal is to now focus on bringing housing to the city.
2019 number one goal is going to have to be housing. We continue to talk to our major employers as they are recruiting people. They're having challenges with landing here in Janesville for residents.
Price says other plans for redevelopment include finding a new purpose for the site of the former General Motors plant. Still ahead tonight, the president and Democratic leaders finally meet face-to-face. It's day 12 now of the government shutdown.
And ahead of next week's inauguration, a one-on-one with Governor-elect Tony Evers and what he hopes to accomplish after taking office.
Welcome back. Governor-elect Tony Evers will announce new cabinet picks tomorrow, and we're learning more tonight about just what he plans to put in his state budget after taking the oath of office.
He sat down with chief political reporter Jessica Arp.
How concerned should people be that Republican-controlled legislature, Democratic-controlled administration, that we're just going to be at loggerheads for a couple years here?
I think our success is based on returning to some really basic Wisconsin values, like being civil, having good debates, finding common ground, respecting differences. And I know people might say, oh my God, he's dreaming, you know, what has Evers been smoking? But the fact of the matter is this. We have to do things for the people of the state of Wisconsin. That's what they expect government to do. They're sick of it.
Governor-elect Evers says he will begin his first week on the job by touring the Lincoln Hills Youth Prison, settling in his new cabinet secretaries, and starting work on a state budget that will include a $1.4 billion increase for public schools. Evers will be sworn in as the new governor next Monday. The National Rifle Association spent more than $870,000 campaigning against the governor-elect in this fall's elections. That data was compiled by government watchdog group Wisconsin Democracy Campaign. The PAC also spent nearly $70,000 supporting Republican Governor Walker and about $13,000 in support of Republican Attorney General Brad Schimel. President Trump met with Democratic and Republican congressional leaders to try and strike a deal to end the shutdown, now in its second week.
But so far, there is no resolution in sight. Natalie Brand with the latest from the White House.
With the partial government shutdown heading into day 13, Democrats and Republicans remain at an impasse over funding for President Trump's border wall.
We spend in Afghanistan more in 1 month than what we're talking about for the wall. Think of that. What I'm talking about is the $5.6 billion that the House approved.
But after a closed-door meeting in the White House Situation Room with the president and top Republicans, Democratic leaders made clear on Wednesday they're not giving in.
They are now feeling the heat. It is not helping the president. It is not helping the Republicans to be the owners of this shutdown. Today, we gave them an opportunity to get out of that.
Since the start of this standoff, Democrats have called the wall a non-starter, and they plan to put a different proposal on the floor of the U.S. House when they take over control on Thursday. Incoming Speaker-designate Nancy Pelosi says her plan would reopen government agencies currently closed, funding them through September. A separate bill would fund Homeland Security into early February, but not include money for the wall.
Our question to the president and to the Republicans is, why don't you accept what you have already done to open up government? And that enables us to have 30 days to negotiate for border security.
Even if the new Democratic-controlled House approves the proposal, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says the Senate would not take up a bill that the president won't sign. Natalie Brand, CBS News, the White House.
Incoming Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy said the president wants to bring both sides back on Friday for another meeting after leadership elections are complete.
Well, 2019 is off to a great start for one lucky lottery player in New York State. There was a single winning Mega Millions ticket sold at this gas station in Old Brookville on Long Island. The jackpot was $425 million, which was the 8th largest in the game's history.
All right, meteorologist Dana Fulton with the very latest on our forecast, and maybe some of this snow will start to melt off by the weekend, right, Dana?
That's what it's looking like, guys. A little bit of sunshine and some warmer air moving in. Not a good recipe for the snow to stay around. We are kicking off a warming trend as we head into tomorrow. Today, pretty close to average as far as our temperatures are concerned. Tomorrow, though, about a 10-degree jump for the afternoon, plus a clearing sky. It's going to give us a lot of sunshine for your Thursday. Good news, we're looking at a mostly sunny sky for Friday and Saturday as well. And the question there, of course, is how long will the snow last with all of that in the afternoon? Overnight, our temps will drop below freezing again, so things will refreeze. But heading into the afternoon, we could get a little bit of melting. And, of course, into the start of next week, that's when we have more rain coming in. That doesn't help the snow last either. We did have some flurries come through today, but right now, our Doppler track is nice and calm. We aren't expecting anything else to come through overnight for us. And our sky's actually clearing up. The clouds pulling away, and we'll wake up to a mostly sunny sky. We have a warm front just to the southwest. That front is going to slide right on over southern Wisconsin. As it does, our temperatures, of course, jump just about 10 degrees. Now, the temperature contrast with this front was a little more severe, stark, I guess, before sunset. Now things are a little cooler outside, so the blues blend in just a little more, but there is about a 10-degree difference between the western side of the front and the eastern side of the front. Today they were in the 30s and the 40s, and of course we were in the 20s today. To have the warmer air move on in, we'll be experiencing that by the end of the week, into the 30s tomorrow and then the 40s by Friday and this weekend. Overnight tonight, plan on a partly cloudy sky by early in the morning. Temperatures will be in the teens to start off the day, with that sunshine throughout the afternoon and our breeze coming from the south. Our temps are expected to climb into the mid-30s. Heading into Friday morning, another clear night for us, and then throughout the day on Friday, we'll climb close to 40 degrees for our afternoon highs. Some areas in southern Wisconsin getting a little closer to the low 40s. For us, so hopping just a little bit. Tomorrow morning, our wind chills are going to be a bit of a factor, even though temps will be in the mid to upper teens. Could be in the single digits as far as what it feels like outside. Our breeze anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour, so enough to make it feel just a little crisp for us. 6 to 10 day outlook throughout much of the country. It's likely that we're all going to enjoy this above average trend. The center there, the nucleus of this warmer air, right in the plains of the Midwest, and that continues to stay over us even as we transfer into the 8 to 14 day outlook. Looks like that warming trend still stays around. Just likely that we're going to be above average. Things calming down, though, as we look out towards the end of the month. 16 is what we're planning for our overnight low. Again, our skies slowly clearing up. For tomorrow, we're in the mid-30s for afternoon highs with that mostly sunny sky. It is going to be breezy outside, though. 10 to 20 is still what our wind speed ranges for the afternoon throughout the day. Our temps will hop into the 40s by the time we get to Friday. And then for Saturday and Sunday, we're still in the 40s. By Monday, we're still in the 40s. It's not until the middle of next week that we back down just a little bit, but it still looks like we're going to stay above average. That storm coming through late Sunday night is going to start off with a mix of rain and snow showers, transition to mostly rain on Monday with that warmer air coming through. But it could be a little messy early in the morning with that transition, and the same goes later on in the evening. But we don't have to wait until the start of next week until we have to deal with that system coming through. We have sunshine for the next few days, guys.
So enjoy the snow while we've got it.
Yes, now that it's cleaned up for most of the area, right?
Right.
Yeah.
All right, Dana, thank you.
Can the Badger men's basketball team make a run at the Big Ten title? Well, chances are a lot better than they were last year. We'll have that story coming up.
Badger men's basketball team resumes Big Ten play tomorrow night when Minnesota's at the Kohl Center for an 8 o'clock tip. The Badgers are coming off another tough non-conference schedule that can pay dividends during the rough and tumble Big Ten schedule, which is now a 20-game season instead of 18. The Badgers are in a much better place for the Big Ten season today than they were at this time last year.
Without a doubt. I mean, astronomical. I mean, our schedule, just what we've gone through with our schedule, I think has prepared us. In addition to having healthier and older and more mature players, our schedule has been a gauntlet to come through, and I think we've had a lot of lessons learned through it, some good, some that have been a little more painful than others, but I think we're prepared now to knowing that what we've got coming in front of us for the next 18 games.
Of course, Wisconsin-Minnesota is a big rivalry game, partly because there are always a few players from Minnesota on Wisconsin's roster, like Brad Davison. Davison told us it's usually a bigger deal to his family and friends growing up. Davison said each Big Ten game's a challenge, and it's just all basketball, but it's a little more fun when you get to go up against a few guys you played AAU games against your entire life.
They're some of my best friends. You know, Daniel, Gabe, Jarvis, those are guys that I played with in the summer. So they're guys that I always root for growing up. And to go against them, it's exciting. And, you know, they might play for Minnesota. I'm from Wisconsin. They're still my friends. But, you know, come Thursday, we're going to be opposition. So it's exciting. It's a challenge. But again, it's just another Big Ten game that we're excited for and a challenge that we're looking forward to.
Well, we're excited about our next Prep Mania game of the week on Channel3000.com Friday night. Madison East is now ranked #1 in the state in Division I in the WISCSports.net boys basketball poll. They'll host La Follette Friday night. The Big 8 East is 9-0, La Follette 7-1, so it's a biggie. La Follette and East Friday night live on Channel3000.com at 7:15 p.m. A new name has emerged in the Packers head coaching search. They're expected to interview Tennessee Titans offensive coordinator Matt LaFleur Sunday. LaFleur is 37 years old. He just finished his first season as the play caller for the Titans. He was the Rams offensive coordinator in 2017, the Falcons quarterbacks coach in their Super Bowl year in 2016. Packers brass will interview Joe Philbin in Green Bay, then hit the road this weekend. They'll go to New England to talk with Patriots offensive coordinator Josh Daniels, then go to New Orleans to chat with assistant head coach and quarterbacks coach Dan Campbell, then catch up with LaFleur on Sunday. They've already interviewed former NFL head coaches Jim Caldwell and Chuck Pagano. Two great sports characters died today. Mean Gene Okerlund was the longtime interviewer on some of the biggest moments in professional wrestling history. Mean Gene, as he was known, interviewed Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Macho Man Savage in the early years of WWF, now known as WWE. Mean Gene Okerlund died in Florida at age 76. And Super Dave Osborne died from cancer, also at age 76. His real name was Bob Einstein. Super Dave was a comedy and variety show legend whose career started with the Smothers Brothers back in the 60s. Super Dave won 2 Emmys, and he recently did work on the HBO hit show Curb Your Enthusiasm. And we'll be right back.
What will probably be my most spectacular stunt.
Is it going to be even more impressive than when you tried?
All right, so snow enthusiasts are excited because we finally have it.
We do. We have quite a bit, and we got a little bit more today, of course. Those flurries really kicking up this morning. We had some light snowfall come through. Unfortunately, for the next few days, we have sunshine and warmer weather. Not too ingredients friendly for snowfall sticking around for us. We'll be in the mid-30s tomorrow, about a 10-degree jump from today, close to 40 tomorrow. For Friday, excuse me, and then the lower areas of Wisconsin, right along that Wisconsin-Illinois border, might actually get into the low 40s for us on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we stay warm. Even as you look through the rest of the next 10 days, our warming trend stays with us. Our next big system is going to come in late Sunday. It'll start off with snow and rain mix, then turning to mostly rain on Monday. But we don't have to worry about that for a few days. We got sunshine, at least through the end of the week.
Dana, thanks. Thanks for joining us for News 3 10.
Do something good. We'll see you tomorrow.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.